Hey drivers, this is Andrew at ThirdCoastRC. We're here doing another review on another car. This morning we're going to take a look at this car, the Kyosho Fazer. It's a Fazer Mark II. This is their 10th scale on-road like sedan car, but they've got all different versions of them, and today we're going to look at this classic 69 Chevy Camaro Z28. So the box comes in a beautiful box with all the information about the different things that come in the box. All nicely packaged up, so if you're giving this as a gift, it looks real impressive right out of the box. Everything comes well packaged in here. Comes with the radio in here, and we've got the instruction manual. You've got the optional parts, and we also got the manual that shows a full breakdown of everything you need if you need to repair the car. It's got all the information in here. Kyosho make really good cars, and they present real well with their manuals. You also get this little baggie of spare brake disc wheel spacers if you want to space your wheels out a little bit further, have more offset. You get 4 of those. You get some little tools, a bind plug, little Allen keys. You get this little wrench, a nice Kyosho wrench. You get some.
You're gonna put the longer screws with these.
Yeah, spacers for the shocks. You got the longer screws. They give you longer wheel nut screws to put these on your car. And you also get different servo horns. If you ever change your servo to a different brand that uses different splines, then it's got the options for those as well. The radio for this car is not here. Let me go grab it. Where's it at, Jack? It is. So this is. It comes with a real nice radio. It's the the Kyosho Synchro radio. It's got a little exposed trim settings here. It doesn't have a cover, so don't give this to a little kid who's going to mess up all your trim settings. The wheel has got a nice foam covering on it. It's slightly angled to give you a little bit, a lot of people like to hold their radio at a slight angle, so this works well. It's a real good feel to it. We haven't had any problems with these radios. And it is a 3-channel radio, so you can add a light or something like that to the vehicle and control it from this radio. So let's have a look at a little bit more at the car. Its scale is 1/10 scale. Its dimensions. This is. You get a few different ones with this Fazer. This is what they call the normal wheelbase. So it takes any kind of standard 200mm body if you want to change it. Some of the other Fazers, like the GTO, they come with a longer wheelbase. That's a little bit more tricky to find bodies other than the stock bodies for. But this body is so beautiful, I don't know why you'd want to change it. It is really, really nice. The weight of the car is pretty light. It's an on-road sedan car. It weighs 2 pounds 16 ounces exactly without the battery, with the body on. So it's nice and light. So it's going to perform well on the batteries that it's meant to run on, which is a 2S and a 3S battery. I mean, the main place you're going to run this car is on relatively smooth surfaces, parking lots, places like that. It does have pretty good performance out of the box, so we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But it's not meant to go off-road. You can't really drive it through the grass, maybe just a light bit of dirt, but then you're going to start to, damage this beautiful body. I mean, these bodies cost about $100 to replace them, just the bodies themselves. It mounts with standard body posts that are already trimmed. So it's set up perfectly from the factory, and you're going to use body pins on there. You can get some cool looking scale ones if you like to make it even more realistic than it already is. The body comes with the mirrors already attached. It comes with the silver windshield wipers it's got the bumpers on the front, it's got the cool bumper on the rear, it's got all the chrome work on it. It comes light kit ready. Now this car, we have put a light kit in this body, and we'll just show you that. We just put a basic 4 lights, 2 headlights at the front, 2 white lights at the front, 2 red at the rear. They just go straight in there. We are running it off a little pair of AA batteries because it's easier. You don't have to hook it up to the receiver and everything, so you can just take the body off without having to mess around with the with uncoupling it from the receiver every time you take it out. So we prefer to run it this way, and you can see we didn't put a switch in it this time, but you know, there's the headlights on the front and the headlights on the rear. On the front, it already comes with the lenses, and the lights just shine through. On the rear, the lights are red, but they're also coming through a red sticker on the rear. If you want to get into more detail than that, then you'd have to do some custom work. It only comes with 2 light mounts front and 2 light mounts in the rear, so there's not like an option for a reversing light or anything like that. You'd have to customize it to do that. So let me just unplug that for now, and so we don't run the batteries flat. The wheels on this car, the tires that it comes on, got street tread on here. The wheels are these super scale chrome rims mounted. The tires mounted on these chrome rims look really cool. Look really, you know, they look like they belong to a 1969 Camaro. So really nicely set out car, comes beautiful from the factory. The chassis type is a standard kind of nylon tub chassis, so no, you know, it's a chassis that's been around a long time. The chassis is very stiff, no real movement in it here. The suspension, it doesn't have threaded shocks, but it does have aluminum capped shocks, so you're not going to lose, probably not going to lose any fluid out of these because they have the aluminum caps on them. But it does use the spacers, they're not threaded shocks. But you do get, as I showed you before, the spare spacers and everything in there. The battery mounts nice and easily in here. It's got a Velcro strap, but the battery also sits underneath this little part of the chassis here to help hold it in. It comes with the padding in the bottom to protect your battery when you bounce around. The suspension is not super tunable. There is no real toe-in adjustments or you know, camber adjustments. It all comes fixed from the factory. The drivetrain on this one, we've changed it to the metal drivetrain, the main center drive shaft. We have actually put the aluminum one in here. And the servo that comes with this car, I think it's something like a 15 kg. It's fine. This one has been changed. The customer wanted to change it just to a 25 kg. It doesn't really need it, but it was changed. And it comes with plastic drive shafts going out from the differentials to the front and the rear wheels. But again, there are quite a lot of optional upgrades for this vehicle that you can get. So if you want to change to like CVDs, you've got different rear hubs that you can get. You've got the center drive shaft that we've already done. So there are a whole series of hop-ups available that are shown in this manual, and you can get the different bodies, but just remember about the wheelbase on it. So what the ESC, the power system that comes in this car, is a brushed power system. Now people are, oh, it's brushed. You know, brushed is not that great, but I tell you what, this G14L is a real nice motor made by Kyosho. Hopefully it's made in Japan. It's got good quality. It runs good. It's reliable. You don't need to worry about it. Your battery choice can be anything from nickel metal hydride through LiPo. The ESC is LiPo ready, so you can switch it over using the little jumper in here. So you can change it over so that you can run a LiPo battery, and it's got low voltage cutoff. and you can also change the setting of the ESC, so you've only got forward brake. If you're racing it somewhere where they don't allow you to have reverse, then you can make that change also. So this is a really good power system. We've got a Mad Van that uses the same power system as this, has the bigger wheels, and we've run it on 2S and we've run it on 3S, and we beat the crap out of that little car, and the motor is still running. So, and it gives good performance. There's still a lot to be said for brushed motors, especially a higher quality one like we have here. We've never had one go out. The servo, like we say, has been changed on this one. It does come with the different servo horns if you want to switch to a different one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it out and we're going to drive it. We're going to run it on 2S, we're going to radar gun it, and we're going to run it on 3S. So we're going to pause the video, and we're going to, first of all, we're going to do it with the 2S. We're going to use a 7.4 volt 5235C Electron Pro battery, and then the second runs that we'll show you is going to be on 11.1 volt 3S 5200 mAh 50C battery. So you're going to see how the car performs on the two different power types that it can run on. We have found with the Mad Van, when we run it on 3S, it does kind of get hot if you run it for extended time. The motor does get quite hot near the limit of what the motor gets to, but I think with this car having much smaller wheels, I don't think it's going to be quite as affected by running on 3S power. So we're going to pause the video, we'll get this set up, and we'll see you outside. Alright, we're back. We got the car set up, we've got the 2S battery in here, so let's take it for a drive and we'll tell you about the characteristics. So the car takes off nice, it handles good, it looks absolutely friggin' awesome. I mean, look at that thing in the sunlight. I like this colour for the Camaro, but it also comes in a blue colour, and that blue is even nicer, I think, but it's a personal choice. And the car takes off, and the learner driver nearly ran me over there, but we can dodge past that. We're going to do a speed test on it, but it handles good, turns good. It's got a tiny little bit of oversteer on it. It seems to me it wants to just brake a little bit, but you're not going to roll this thing in a corner. You know, it's not going to flip over on you, which is a characteristic you don't want with a body that is just so nice as this one. So we'll try and get a speed gun run on it now, coming down. You ready, Jack? See if we can get this. See if we can pick it up. So there on 2S we're getting about 25 miles an hour, which you know, I think this battery pack is a little bit weak. I have seen reviews online where on the 2S they get about 30 miles an hour. We're not quite getting that right now, but the car looks cool. You can change the pinion gear on it. You can add a bigger pinion gear in here, and that would give you some more speed as well. Out of the box it's set up not to stress the car, but the car just looks cool. It handles nice, it turns nice, it lays the power down quick and gets to top speed fast, and then just cruises along. This is a cruising lot for looking cool, driving this at car meets, things like that. It's just going to be so awesome, especially if you had a 69 Camaro. That would be just cool to have this to go with your real car. So what we're going to do now is do a little bit more, do a few figure of 8s here to show how it handles. Yeah, it handles real good. That was me just to bump in the parking lot there, clip the front spoiler. So now we're just going to pause, we're going to switch to the 3S. So we're back, we're on the 3S battery now. So now I've seen videos online where these will go with the gearing change on the 3S battery, where they'll do a solid 40 miles an hour. I don't think we're going to quite get that here, but here we go, let's do a speed test here. So we got 33 that time. We'll come back down again. That
31. It was 31.
Yeah, we're getting about mid-30s, low to mid-30s here. But this 3S is pretty tired, and we haven't done the gear change. And honestly, in this parking lot, I can't quite get it up to full speed. Just struggling a little bit before I have to put the brakes on. Whether you're running it on 2S or 3S, it doesn't really matter. 35 to 40 miles an hour with the gearing change. I have seen a couple of people with high powered 3S batteries and the gearing change get them up to about 45. Anything more than that, you're going to have to, you're running a brush system here. You don't want to get too hot. But, if I was driving this car, I'd probably drive it on the 3S because it just gives that a little bit more high speed. But the braking is good. The braking is real good with this ESC system, the Kyosho ESC system. The tyres give you plenty grip. There's nothing wrong with the way the tyres feel or handle. And you could always throw a set of drift wheels on this car if you wanted to make it into a drifter. We've done that. We do that inside our shop sometimes. Put the drift wheels on here and just drift them around for a different type of experience. But really, any parking lot any more bumpy than this one, it's probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable driving this car. And I'd hate to wreck this body because it looks absolutely friggin' awesome. I mean, it is a super cool looking body. Just sat there with the scale details on it, the green colour, the old school style chrome wheels. Just looks the business. Kyosho did a really good job with this car. So let's just sum up now. I mean, what do I like about this car? Obviously the look of it. It's really, really cool. We can see the customer dropped the body a little bit on this one, and you can see we're getting a little bit of tire rub. Right there, move the rear wheel. You can see it's rubbing the paint off there. But there's a customer's choice to run it with that little bit lower stance. He might need to get a bit of touch-up paint to take care of that. But what do I like about it is the look, the scale detail, the body, the performance. The performance is good. The car runs really, really nice. They're priced, this brushless one, they're priced around $250. But that's without a battery or a charger. So you're going to be looking at around just over 300 with a 2S, a little bit more, 325 with a decent 3S battery. Is what you're going to be looking at to get this car out on the street with a battery and a charger. For what you get, that price is pretty good. I think in today's market, I think it's a fair price. I like the fact that it's light kit ready. I don't like the fact that you don't have any tuning adjustments on the suspension really. That's a little bit of a downside for me, being an on-road racer. I'd like to have the ability to adjust things other than spring rate and shock tuning. But apart from that, there's really no downsides with these cars. They're reliable, they run good, they're easy to look after. If you're buying it for a kid and you don't want to run with a LiPo battery, then get a nickel metal hydride battery. Even a 7.2 or an 8.4 hump pack is going to go in this car no problem. And the car is just going to give you years and years of enjoyment. Look after it, drive it nice and steady in a parking lot, try not to wreck it, and you can have a lot of fun. The only other downside I've seen with these right now is some of the parts coming out of Japan are hard to get. Recently that has improved, but some of the parts we have had to wait a week or so for them to come because we've had to order them online. We've not been able to get them from our supplier, but apart from that, you can't go wrong with these little cars. They're awesome. Whichever ones you get, they're really good, and we're bringing some more reviews of some other new models coming out. They are bringing out some brushless ones of these as well, so keep checking back at ThirdCoastRC. Watch us on Facebook, ThirdCoastRC, and also check us out on Instagram, ThirdCoastRC, and we'll see you next time. Thanks guys.